All right, so we're going to look at the role that language plays in a problem based enhanced language learning experience. So, the biggest difference between PBL and PBEL is an intentional focus on language. PBEL was designed to meet the needs of English language learners. And when we look at what ELL students need, but really what all students need in order to access a rigorous learning environment like PBL is an explicit focus on language, both the development of language skills, but also supports that are embedded throughout to ensure that students are successful. We believe that if we put this focus on language, if we intentionally plan for language in our PBEL experiences, that we're going to create another level of access. So we believe that if you plan for language and you support content, then 100% of our students are going to have access to 100% of the content. And that's really our goal. One of the resources that we looked at when trying to determine what PBEL should look like, what PBL needed to be infused with to meet the needs of diverse learners, is the key principles for English language learner instruction from the University of Stanford. So basically, a group of educational experts came together, many of whom were content experts, mathematics, science, social studies, and they came together and they created these 6 principles. These are the 6 things that teachers can do to meet the needs of all of their learners. All right. When planning a PBEL, we can consider and we should consider all of these principles, but we're going to focus on one principle specifically. We're going to focus on ELL principle 1. All right. So I'll give you just a second to kind of read through that. In this principle, we're talking about discipline specific practices. The belief that mathematicians, scientists, historians, so in our social studies classrooms, but also in music, art, that in each of those content areas or disciplines, that students will need to utilize specific language skills that are specialized for that discipline. So, mathematicians use a certain set of skills, and scientists use a certain set of skills to read, to write, to speak, to listen. And that it's our job to understand the demands, the language demands of our content area, and then explicitly plan for how we can meet those demands with our students. And we do that in a PBEL as well. In the next activity, you are going to get to choose one of 3 content areas: math, science, or ELA. Choose the content area that's closest to your context. And we're going to dig a little deeper into what are the language demands of our content area. And then we're going to step into our PBEL planning shoes and think about how can we meet those demands in our PBEL.